retirement ceremony honoring Senior Master Sergeant Angela Carter on the occasion of her retirement from the United States Air Force after 22 years, minus 7 days of honorable uniform military service. I am Technical Sergeant Justin Porter, and I will be your narrator for this very special occasion. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Chaplain Major General Retired Howard Stinman, United States Air Force Chief of Chaplains. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and singing of the national anthem by Miss Alexis Carter, and invocation by Chaplain Jeremy Bass.
Stay there with me. I invite you to pray with me. Almighty God, we stand before you and give thanks for the call that you have placed on our lives to serve you and our country. We know that this life is not easy, but gives us a great sense of pride because we serve with outstanding individuals and families each and every day. So we ask that you bless those who continue to hold the line and keep the faith so that others may live and that all may return with honor. Lord, today we have come to honor the Carter family and celebrate Senior's career. Over the past 22 years, CR has served you faithfully. In doing so, we are thankful that you gave her the Jersey girl grit, the Lamola Mafia ambition, and the Carter ultra endurance in making our Air Force better. Whether filming dirty jobs on deployments, or collecting tears and BMT from the trainees, or putting the special in special warfare, or always having the right answer to all our questions, admitting she's never, ever wrong. We are forever grateful for the many memories. We love her and her family dearly and deeply because of the time we had together. It's been truly a blessing. Lord, we know that you can take the warrior out of the Air Force, but you can never take the Air Force out of us. So as CR pulls the chalks and throws the deuces, we are let her know that we are cheering for her with great excitement, knowing that she's going to continue to excel because you created her to be great today, tomorrow, and forevermore. And Lord, one more thing. Today is Minnie's birthday, so thanks for making him special too. We pray this in your holy and righteous name, and all the people said. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Carter, for that amazing addition. And Chaplain Bastian for the invocation. You may be seated. Before we begin, we would like to take this opportunity to extend a special welcome to Senior Carter's family, her husband, and Instagram famous fitness guru, Technical Sergeant Retired Steve Carter, hashtag Fairweather Steve, hashtag Van Her daughter and future NCAA gymnastics champion on the boat, uneven bars, beam, floor, and overall performance from the University of Michigan, Alexis Carter. Her son and second baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies and the 2034 World Series MVP, Roman Carter. And a very special shout out and warm welcome to her mother, Lori Lamola, her father, Gerard Lamola, and his wife, Anna, her brothers, Mike and Vinny Lamola, and sister, Lillian Lamola, and her mother-in-law, Karen Carter. We are grateful you are here to celebrate today's ceremony. We would also like to welcome our distinguished guests in attendance today. Please hold your applause until all guests have been introduced. Our host, Chaplain Major General Howard Stindl, United States Air Force Chief of Chaplains, retired in his white caddy. From the Headquarters Air Force Education Training Command Chaplain Office, the Command Chaplain Colonel Andrew Thornley, the Religious Affairs Senior Enlisted Leader Chief Master Sergeant John Davis III. From the 502nd Air Base Wing Staff Agencies, the Senior Enlisted Leader Senior Master Sergeant Cedella Cordero.
Close enough.
Thank you. I appreciate that. From the 502nd Air Base Wing Chief Chaplain's Office, Joint Base Senior Chaplain Charles Seligman, Joint Base Religious Affairs Senior Enlisted Leader Chief Master Sergeant Tabitha Harris. Finally, we also welcome all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, civilian leaders, friends, and teammates from Joint Base San Antonio and beyond. Thank you for joining us today to share this special occasion with Senior Carter and her family. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce Chaplain Major General H. Stindl. Sir, the floor is yours.
I hope I'm audible. People here?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Senior Master Sergeant Carter, for your trust. You trust me to stand here, that you invite me, nearly 73 years of age, to come here. Made it here all by myself. This nice speech I wrote, and then I met Angela's mother. Told me stuff, about which I had no idea. So I'll just set this aside. The things I've learned are life-changing. I always wondered about Angela. I wondered about you before 2003, and now I know. I know that Angela, before she was airman or sergeant or senior master sergeant, is a model for They paid her $35 an hour. Her mother tells me. She was a great dancer to this day, and then became a coach, a trainer, for $16 an hour. She then moved to work at Six Flags for $10 an hour. Sold shoes thereafter for $8 an hour, and then she joined the Air Force. And her mother said, "You're going to be living under a bridge." Life-changing information, man. It's an honor to know and to listen to Master Sergeant Carter. I am deeply grateful for your trust. I don't know that I needed to it. It was when we were assigned at the Pentagon, Sergeant Carter and I, that she approached me to support a package she had prepared for a military program in which she had interest. I was eager to support that. Chief Master Sergeant Al Clemens was the 5-hour career field manager. He told me that this staff sergeant, tech sergeant, could heal the sick and raise the dead. This was the best NCO that we had. I'd be eager to support any package. She brought it in. Father Butler was there, the executive officer, Chief Clemens, the career field manager. And I shared with Sergeant Carter at the time, her name, Angela. I was never blessed with a daughter. I have 3 sons. Were I blessed with a daughter, I told her, we would have named her Angela. And she said, that's very nice. Here's the package, sir. I think that conversation ended with me saying, yes, ma'am. It didn't turn out just as we had hoped. I learned subsequently that then Tech Sergeant Carter, identified as the top NCO, stratified by the career field manager as the number one of 237, whatever there were. No, number 2 it was. Brought me that stratification to sign, and I said, number 2, Chief? He said, well, I'm number 1. I found that amusing. Apparently you didn't. But I was eager to sign this. What I learned subsequently then was the term non-vol. And they would take Tech Sergeant Carter to the basic military training school to become a military training instructor. And I said, well, I'm the chief of chaplains. Do I have to say in this? And that's what Chaplain Hayes said. Let's look at Romans 12. Do not think more of yourself than you ought to think. Think with sober judgment. Well, I had no recourse. Non-vol is a term the Air Force uses for career fields that are very difficult to fill, with high skill needs, demanding career fields that people do not volunteer for in adequate numbers, and so they say, yeah, this is going to be really good for you. It was great. I had more confidence than I could express. When he came into my office, I had a performance report to sign. And I shared with Sergeant Carter, Tech Sergeant Carter at the time, that I signed that. I had written in there, pondering the name that I would have named a daughter. And I wrote in that performance report, if I had a daughter, I would want her to be just like Sergeant Carter. And she said to me, why didn't you write that in that application I had? I found that amusing too. I think that conversation ended again. Yes, ma'am. But you are the best senior master sergeant sergeant. I hope I've said that often enough over the years. Though I retired from active duty in 2015, you trust me. Nearly 73 years of age to come up and tell stories about you. I didn't make this stuff up. It's certified and footnoted by your mom. It further began at Little Rock Air Force Base with a classmate of mine who was the wing chaplain. His name was Father Chief Schnimpke. I didn't know how Father Schnimpke was as a supervisor, but he was a classmate and a dear friend of mine. A quiet, a man of few words, but of deep intellect. And he said of you, an airman with a brilliant future. I want her below the zone of senior airman, wing airman of the quarter. We bumped into another friend of mine at bowling at the 11th wing. His name is John Stovall. A quiet dude, a Pentecostal quiet dude. Contradiction in ecclesial terms. And he wrote of you, unit compliance inspection that was identified as outstanding, but simply because of you. Another friend, Kurt Neubauer. I don't know if you remember Kurt Neubauer. Colonel, personal friend, said, she improves everything she touches. Few NCOs are assigned to the office of the Chief of Chaplains of the Pentagon. This one was, as a staff sergeant, coming over from the 11th Wing, under the leadership of Captain Major General Cecil Richardson, who wrote in her report, this is my star HC performer. I read that, I went to his office, and I said, I thought I was your star. I was his deputy. He liked me better. The HC career field manager, again, identified you as number 2 of all the NCOs in the career field. And then you were non-vol. I drove through the gate this morning to come here at Lackland, remembering it was nearly 40 years ago that I drove through that gate to become a BMT chaplain. The gate you drove through to become a military training instructor. That all of you successfully passed through one way or another this morning. And it comes to mind all 101-degree heat, red flags that sometimes just don't obtain. I remember. Who allowed me to see what we used to call Chapel 8. Remember and appreciate the transformational work that you have accomplished as a military training instructor. How grateful I am for those under whom your leadership took effect. For you and your leadership that transformed what we used to call rainbow flights into those that support and defend the Constitution of the United States with all of us. I'm grateful for those who wrote about you, who called you. Christopher Bell identified you as a leader among peers and number 1 of 14 for commandant's award. You oversaw and mentored 9 senior NCOs and 23 NCOs across 5 squadrons. Your peers, whom you mentored, and you shared with me in private conversations, something that testifies to leadership that is beyond merely giving orders, but it's listening to those who you lead as well. To make yourself vulnerable to others, who transform you as much as you mentored them. You led 502nd Air Base Wing Ministry under Chaplain Janovic and Brigadier General Lenderman. It was not lost to me that General Lenderman's rated you number 6 of 69 Master Sergeants, and then number 2 of 52 Master Sergeants. By 2021, you were number 1. A stratification that sets you apart from all of your peers. We have always thought you are the very best I have seen. It's fun to view records of performance. Stories, it's fun to hear family stories. Not have to be anywhere until Sunday morning at 9:30 if you have more. I'd love to hear more stories about Angela before she was Senior Master Sergeant. But I want to tell Steve, Alexis, and Roman, I knew your mother when she was a staff sergeant. She served with excellence in every task our nation has given her, at every level. She loves the 3 of you, and in private conversation tells me that. People say, why didn't you wear your uniform today? You wear the uniform for a while. And that time is past for me, and I cherish every day in uniform. But the day comes when you take off the uniform. It doesn't really matter what pay grade you retire. We're an airman, I suppose, for life, active duty for a while, but we're members of families for life. Our love of family, why we serve, and it transcends everything else. If you remember nothing else from all of my primal in this speech, Steve, Alexis, Roman, everyone who's here, if I had a daughter,
Thank you, Chaplain Stewart. So good. Thank you, Chaplain Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation on hereditary service medal. Fort Hope Cluster and remain standing for the presentation of the retirement. Attention to orders. Senior Master Sergeant Angela N. Carter distinguished herself in performance of outstanding service to the United States as Superintendent, Religious Affairs, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, from 31 January 2023 to 31 December 2024. During this period, she led 37 personnel and 11 True North teams, generating 3,000 religious and spiritual programs. Senior Carter was the catalyst for the first ever mobilization of two chaplain corps teams to Defender Challenge and Defender Flag exercises, employing ACE and AFRIGEN capabilities to 700 airmen across 9 MATCOMs. Additionally, she launched the Air Force's Hope Spiritual Fitness Initiative, authoring the communication strategy for the Chief of Staff of Air Force and the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, guiding 10 beta tests to 6 MATCOMs on how to recruit and employ 750 spiritual specialists. Furthermore, Senior Carter facilitated 24 strategic level chaplain corps courses, developing 156 airmen to lead 72 wings. Finally, she bridged manpower gaps by utilizing 10 reservists, 43 unclassed service members, adding 3,700 man-hours for execution of 125 spiritual fitness programs, earning her the WSA Senior NCO of the third quarter in 2023. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Senior Carter culminate a long and distinguished career in the service of her country and reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. At this time, we will now publish the retirement orders. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC-04711, Senior Master Sergeant Angela N. Carter, effective 31 December 2024. You are relieved from active duty. From the 502nd Air Base Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Laughlin, Texas, you are hereby retired effective 1 January 2025, per Department of the Air Force Instruction 36-3203. In the grade of Senior Master Sergeant by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. In honor of Senior Carter's retirement, we will now present her with Certificate of Retirement. The Certificate of Retirement reads, Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America to all associates presents greetings. This is to certify that Angela N. Carter, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of January 2025. Signed, Brigadier General Russell D. Driggers, Commander, 502nd Air Base Wing and Joint Base San Antonio, and General David W. Albin, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. Every retiree also receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. On the occasion the retiree elects to wear the uniform, they will also wear the retiring pin on their left lapel. At this time, we would like to ask Mr. Carter to please come and join Senior Carter and place the pin on her uniform, symbolizing her transition from active duty to retired status. Certificate of Appreciation. The certificate reads, for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense, thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, Brigadier General Russell D. Driggers, Commander, 502nd Air Base Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, and General David W. Albin, Chief of Staff, United States Air Force. We would now like to present certificates to Alexis and Roman. Alex and Roman, would you please come forward and join your mother and father on stage? If you could return, sir.
I'll come back when
Something. The certificates read, on the occasion of your mother's retirement for honorable service with the United States Air Force, your unfailing support and understanding helped make your mother's lasting contribution to the nation possible. Your growth and maturity have made Senior Master Sergeant Carter a proud mother and given her inspiration to serve her nation with integrity and honor. Signed, Brigadier General Russell D. Driggers, Commander, 502nd Air Base Wing and Joint Base San Antonio. Senior Carter would like to present her husband, her children, her parents, and mother-in-law with a small token of appreciation for all that they have done to support her over the years. Would Lori, Gerard, and Karen please join the rest of the family on stage?
All right, so the family kids are back up too. So are you so excited? All right, so while they're coming up on stage, I just want to say for my parents, they also served in the Air Force. So I got them legacy papers at the parade grounds, which the parade grounds for me are extremely meaningful. So you can't be an airman without crossing that. So for my dad and my mother, this is for you. Thank you. And then for my mother-in-law who retired to come take care of my kids while I was a military training instructor, I always say she was my angel who was always looking after not only myself but my husband, and she loves angels, by the way. So this is for you. And then a good family tradition where men don't really do bouquets, we do bouquets of candy. So she can hold the whiskey bottle, which is actually a gift for someone
Amazing.
And then this wasn't in the script, so I'm going off script for 1 second. I promise it'll be 2 seconds. If Patty Stendhal and UH could please stand up, I do have one token. And so as they come on stage, I just want to say that at over one of our lunches, I don't know if the two of you recall, but we talked about how you lived on Chapman Training Annex back in 1988, maybe 87, somewhere in there. And their young boys did handprints in the concrete. And you talked about how meaningful that moment was for each of you and your family. And if they could have just one more moment with those handprints, it would mean the world. And so thanks to lots of people that I know on JBSA that helped and came to my rescue, I was able to find those handprints. And let me tell you, we had a clip. It was all blocked off, roped off, weeds were up to easily past my shoulders. I was covered in thorns, but we didn't cover one. And so you two could stand up because I have a little small prize. Surprise. So I'm still trying to get it extracted out of the ground by some cement professionals, which may happen in the interim. I know.
One closing.
What do you call the people that dig up stuff?
See, I knew I was going to make some people cry with that one. I was just sorry. I went off script. Oh, you're trying to. All right, you are up because I don't know what's next.
No. Thank you. At this time, Chapel Bastion will present Senior Carter with her shower box.
the legacy of what we were able to accomplish. The shadow box represents a career. It's a story career of which Lamola and Sergeant Carter details going all the way back when we were asleep. And so when we are in the military, when we're out walking around, people always ask, do you have any stories? What's it like being in the military? And if there's one symbol, if there's one thing that says, yes, we have stories, it's the shadow box. And it's only apropos that it would be a footlocker. You'd be able to do the DMT experience. And a lot of growth and development and leadership came as a result from the DMT time. This is a beautiful box. I want to say thank you for those who put it together and did such a great job. Let me pull with fear and trepidation. In it.
You break it, you buy it.
I know! It tells her story. These are just some, all the patches of what she's been able to wear on the uniform, and be able to live, move, and do what God's called her to do. It tells the story of where she's been and who she's been with. So this details all the rankings, to be able to see what the names and changes and how the beautiful things are over there. You know what those are?
Oh, those are my hats.
Yeah, when I was in Afghanistan, you could hear me coming. Stealth mode and it came off.
You don't need facts in the
Yeah, they heard you coming.
And then there's a bunch of ins and outs, but the big thing that we want to pull out is
Yep. I can see it.
that's the uniform that she was able to wear and be able to go and serve.
Sorry.
It tells her story. All the great things that she was able to do in 30 times, well, not 22 years, minus 7 days, a certain job.
Oh, you want to clean it up? Oh, I'm still gonna.
We'll keep it up here in case you want to be able to come and look at it, come and see that.
Thank you, Chuck Bastian. We now ask Chuck Seligman, Chief Garrison, to present the next retirement gift on behalf of the Joint Base San Antonio Chapter 4.
I need to buy a bigger house. So, if you know Angela, she is such a hard worker. She has been TDY numerous times, but it's just not on her behalf. She wanted to go through that. She was actually elevating her career field, doing amazing things to help train everyone. And we know that you have taken over your son's legacy. We know that you're going to need more leverage. And we know that your journey does not stop here. And we just really want to celebrate today. Everyone that could put stickers on, that represent something from them that for you. And so, take the time. I wanna know who did the, I'm not sure, I'm a hobbit.
Hey, so, Senior Carter, she is the exact representation, you know, all in there, understand what I mean by that. She is the exact representation of what it means to be part of the warrior class. In the Greek, the word is character, and she has both character and competence. And character means, it's a tool used in engraving so that you can dye and
this time, we want to invite anyone else who might like to say a few words. Carter, come forward and stand over here by the stairs. Additionally, we also ask that if you could limit your words to 2 or 3 minutes.
So I'm the last troop Senior Master Sergeant Carter to directly supervise. I strongly believe God puts people in your life that you might not necessarily know.
Amen.
We started off roughly. I believe it was me. He stayed on me. And the 2 words I used to describe you was compassion and care, which perfectly sums up your career. You're an RA and you are an MTI. Don't forget, she is an MTI.
Always.
We went at it, but you did something that's so hard. And you told me the truth. You held the mirror up to me. You said, the ugly year is not going to be. So it wasn't just your ugly and Matthew's son, but she made you better. She spent time pouring into me. And you don't know, is it ugly year who was better? You and Steve have added unknowable resources. You guys know what I'm talking about. We did. I had a time where I had to take a mandatory leave. During that time, I made you something. Because I got to reflect how I got here. You were such a good kid.
Sorry, guys, freaking.
I made this for you. You were on my mind when I was at that place, a deep dark place. And you helped me bring myself out. Thank you.
That's beautiful craftsmanship.
Yes, it is.
All right, Sergeant Carter.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for being such a great former RC Carter and helping me stand up at the chapel program in New Wing and developing all the spiritual curriculum and all the crazy hair-pulling days that we had with all the things that were happening, trying to scheduling, flying to all the issues and all the travels. I just want to say thank you, and also that I'm so proud of you today. This is something that we have been looking forward to coming to this place, and I'm so proud of you that you've come to this point. Your family, Steve, your kids, and just know that you've always had my appreciation and my love for you and your family and your life. You've helped me grow as a person, and your lead chaplain kept me in line, and so I just want to give you this on behalf of the Special Warfare Training Wing and the chapel team. I present you with the sought-after Special Warfare Training Wing hat T-shirt.
Hey, Jay, you gotta step up your game, my man.
So
Not back there.
this is for all those days you're going to be on the trail running. So.
base is challenging at times. Understanding the joint environment is challenging at times. And so the Army sent me and my family here to the resource management area without any official resource management training. And when I found myself in that situation and a scary situation developed, I realized I needed some help. And I reached out to you, Senior Carter. I don't know if you remember. It's something like this, a phone call where, hey, somebody did something, not me, but somebody did something they're not supposed to do, and we need to conduct an audit of our books. I don't know how to do this. And so I reached out to you, Senior Carter, and you came and helped us get our books straight and squared, and told me that, reassured me that I was not going to go to jail, that I didn't do anything illegal or immoral, but you continue to give guidance along the way. And I want to say thank you, and I appreciate it.
All right, because we don't have a lot of time, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. You were awesome.
It's true.
It is now time for a special flag folding and through the ranks presentation in honor of Senior Carter's 22 years minus 7 days of honorable service. she enters the United States Air Force as an Airman Basic 7 January 2003. Airman Basic Lamola arrives at Lackland Air Force Base, Texas to begin basic military training and become rooted in the Air Force way of life. Little did she know she would be around for a long time. Promoting to Airman 7 July 2003, Airman Lamola is progressing as a chaplain assistant at the 314th Airlift Wing, Little Rock Air Force Base, Arkansas. During this time, she deployed to Camp Warlord for readiness training and was the first airman to ever win the Commandant's Award. Promoting to Airman First Class 7 May 2004, Airman Lamola is completing upgrade training and constantly applying her skills and knowledge to become a highly efficient technician. She was already setting herself apart from her peers by scoring over 90% on her end-of-course exam and being selected to serve as secretary and then president of the Wing Staff HC's Booster Club, positions usually held by non-commissioned officers. Promoting to Senior Airman 7 January 2006, Senior Airman Lamola, soon to be Senior Airman Carter, is a solid 5 level who consistently pursues excellence. She was known for overhauling or fixing programs during inspections. Her program would have 0 deficiencies. Her attention to detail was key to her winning the Airman Safety Award. Promoting to Staff Sergeant 1 August 2007, Sergeant Carter is excelling at her new duty assignment at Bowling Air Force Base and starting off strong by winning the Academic Leader Award at the Airman Leadership School. She also completed her CCF and deployed to Kirkuk, Iraq, where she was recognized by the commander as one of the 10 best airmen. Promoting to Technical Sergeant 1 April 2012, Sergeant Carter is now stationed at Headquarters Air Force Chief of Chaplain's Office. There she served 3 Chief of Chaplains and 2 career field managers. As a visionary leader, she helped shape the future of the Chaplain Corps. She also completed her bachelor's degree in business administration and was hand-selected, also known as voluntold, for military training instructor duty. Promoted to Master Sergeant 1 January 2017, Sergeant Carter was now a military training instructor. In those 5 years, she went from rookie instructor to trainer, then to instructor of all instructors, taking her career to a whole new level. She accumulated 1,600 teaching hours, received CCF Instructor Certification Level 1, became a Master Military Training Instructor, and won Military Training Instructor of the Year. And just when you thought she couldn't do any more, she finished her master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. When her tour came to an end, May 18th, she PCA'd to the 502nd Air Base Wing and became the superintendent of JBSA Lackland. After winning Air Force's Large Chapel Team of the Year, she PCA'd to Special Warfare Training, where she helped stand up the Chaplain Corps Work Center. During this 3-year assignment, she also deployed to Saudi Arabia, a bear base at the time, to also stand up the Chaplain Corps Work Center. After being stratified number 2, then number 1 in the wing, she was finally promoted. Promoting to Senior Master Sergeant 1 July 2022, Senior Carter promoted herself out of Special Warfare Training Wing and back to JBSA Lackland. This is where she resumed her previously held position as Superintendent of Religious Affairs, and where she decided it was time to retire. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present the Air Force's newest retiree, Senior Master Sergeant Angela Carter, United States Air Force, retired.
Wow. I finally get to do the find a fancy little picture that made me think of Chaplain Croft. And so I sent him this photo like, hey sir, this is what you teach when we travel together across the globe. And he says, thanks, how's retirement? And I was like, I'm trying to write my speech, can you write it for me? Which he, like every good friend, mentor, said, nope. However, he left me with the secret formula, so I'm going to share it with you all today in case you're really close to retiring yourself, which some of you in this room I know are getting close. And so he called it the 3 B's. Be brave, be brilliant, and be gone. I don't know if I can be brief. I'm not sure I can be brilliant, but I will definitely be gone at the end of this speech. So I'm completely excited, and I think you have across in the room, so thank you for sharing your secret formula with me. I appreciate it. Over the past 2 to 3 weeks, actually, let me keep it real. I've been off since April. I got so much leave, I've been chilling, kind of. But now I'm entering the hiring and interview process, and I suck at it. I'm novice. I'm kind of down there. And so once again, when I'm anxious, I go to research. Hey Google, what are the top 10 interview questions? Hey Google, what are the top 20? And then I start writing down answers that I think the interviewee might want to hear. I even took it as far as messaging all my lovely colleagues over here in beautiful service dress. Hey, if you were to talk about me, what would you say? Which they replied eagerly with very, very kind things. And then I wrote those down, just in case you never know what they're going to ask. So I start going into the interviews, and I'm going to share with you the top 5 questions. I know it might sound boring, but the top 5 questions and what it revealed to me, because it really caused me to reflect on the past 22 years. And so question number 1, why did you join the military and what did you learn? I gotta keep it real. I ain't enjoying to serve our country, so I don't have some heartfelt response about 9/11, or I could have easily maybe lied and said, hey, my parents served, my grandparents served, and now I want to follow in their footsteps. That might have been cool, but I was selfish and just wanted a college education. Just keeping it real, that's why I joined. So that's why I was the interviewee. However, it took my first tour to Iraq to change everything. So I went from only wanting to serve long enough to get a college degree to, man, I want to do this for life. That's all it took. So this brought me to lesson number 1. You have to serve something other, greater than yourself. Your purpose is outside of yourself. And that's the only way to achieve happiness. So question number 2, this first one I felt like I kind of nailed. Question number 2, what job did you desire? I don't know about you, but the Air Force has never really asked me that question. A little complicated. Your recruiter kind of does, but let's face it, they're lying. It's really because of the Air Force. In basic military training, you go to the job reservation and you list your top 10 jobs. I got number 10. And I only put it there because everyone said, don't leave it blank. It will be security forces. I don't know about that. So the Navy Religious Affairs, which back then was chaplain assistant. And I was like, I hope they know I don't go to church. Now, the requirement, I don't know. I finally wanted to be an officer. And Chaplain Stendhal, he was so supportive. But big Air Force had bigger plans. They declined me, so my number 1 request was to become an officer. And they said, congratulations, instead you're going to become a military training instructor. So that question about asking what role emotion, and I give a standard response about how when I was an MTI, some of my ladies up here in the middle held up a mirror to my face and called me out on my ugliness. And it was heartbreaking. But guess what? It was the same friends that brought me through it. In this moment, though, I want to get vulnerable just for 1 moment. My past 22 years is filled with ugly stories, hurtful truths, and so many lost friends. Being a religious affairs airman is not easy, guys. I think some people have no clue what we do. We just set up for worship. But the reality is we are in some dark places with many people. And in those most hurtful moments where I'm just sitting, broken, crying with whoever's next to me, sometimes I don't even know their name. Those are the moments I'm drawn to the most. Those are the moments that transform me the most. Which brought me to the very next lesson, which is joy and sorrow are linked. I had to go through the sorrow with other people, so I know what it feels like to feel joy. I am way more compassionate, more loving, more caring, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I suck. My family up here can be like, one day my mom yelled at me or grounded me or whatever, but the reality is joy and sorrow are linked. And so for every hurtful moment, I would never change it for the world. Because that was a lesson I had to learn. And I had to go through it. Which brings me to my next question. Who inspires you? Man, when I was a little girl, I was shy. All I wanted to do was be nice and be with my brothers. Why? Because they are my superheroes. They're athletic, they are bold, they are fun. One can dance, one can't. One thinks he's funny, the other is. They were my heroes. Why? Because I was a girl who was unsure of herself, and the only people I wanted to be next to were my brothers. And then when I moved away from home, I had to find new heroes. So then I got Jules. Man, this girl can tell stories. She is a storyteller. She will draw you in. If you don't believe me, go find her. She's right there in beautiful pink. Okay? I got Julia in the back. She makes me run way further than I like. And I try to keep up, but man, she was taught me to love the trails and working out and keeping them hard. Hope brings hope in every single room. She brings the energy. I wish I could bring just a small fraction of that. What I've learned is I'm constantly surrounding myself by heroes, so this brings me to my very next lesson. Emulate your superheroes. It's not dumb. The more you emulate them, you create new habits, and the more you slowly become them. And who wouldn't want to become the couple of people I just named? They're freaking amazing. So emulate your superheroes. That's my other lesson. Which brings me to my very last question, which I also don't like. If you're noticing, I don't really like the interview process. So that brings me to, what is your desired salary range? I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm quite valuable. I don't know, 200,000, 300, where are we going to start? We already established I keep going backwards in pay. Right? I'm valuable. Let me keep it real for a moment, though, all joking aside. Money's never going to make you happy. It's never going to make you rich. And if I truly embrace the 4 lessons I just listed out, money ain't a thing. By the way, I'm going to be rich. We're going to pay for 200,000. We're getting my way up there. So here's what I'm going to say is I did find my calling. Now what that duty title is, I don't know, but I know my vocation is because of all of you in this room helping me do it. In every moment, in every experience. Which brings me to I'm always going to serve others. Why? Because I love other people.
Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude today's ceremony,
Oh, one more time, one more time.
please stand for the playing of the airport song and the departure of the official party. Following the departure, there will be a reception in the atrium to congratulate the Carter family. Thank you all.
Give her the gun! Down we dive, spouting our flames from under, off with one hell of a roar. We live and then go down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
Thank you very much. Also, went out to close.